Good morning. This is Delegate Charles Newton. Hello?
Good morning. This is Lorraine. I'm on the line.
Lorraine. Is anybody else on the line?
I believe Heather and then Delegate James is also on the line.
We have
Good morning, Danella.
Good morning. Good morning. This is Yvonne Curley. We will be presenting with Clear Abundance. Thank you. Yeah.
Good morning, Ms. Curley. Honorable Eugene So, do we have you on the line? Honorable Otto So? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and wait till we get another delegate on the line, and then we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. So I'm going to go back on mute. Thank you.
No, you're still on the line.
Good morning, Chitoy. Good to hear your voice. Okay, so with that, we do have a quorum. So I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order at 10:11. Lorraine, can you go ahead and assist me with the roll call this morning? Lorraine?
Okay. Sorry. Good morning, members of the Law and Order Committee. Roll call. Eugenia Charles Newton.
Present from Sherbrooke, New Mexico.
Kate Otto So.
President from Tuba City, Arizona. We'll be leaving soon, so I'll be going in and out through the radio waves or the cellular phone waves. So making my way to One Rock. Thank you.
Eugene So. Vince James.
Delegate James present. Thank you.
Eugene So. Edmund Yazzie. Edmund Yazzie. Eugene So. We have 3 members, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Lorraine. So with that, members, we do have 3 members present, which constitutes a quorum. We'll go ahead and now move down to invocation. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and do the invocation for the Law and Order Committee meeting this morning. We pray to you here at this time. We ask that you forgive us here for all of our sins. Forgive us for the bad thoughts that we've had, for the bad words that have come out of our mouths, for the ill feelings that we may have felt that at one time, for the frustration, for the anger. We pray to you here at this time, God, that you look down upon us and that you bless us with your good mercies, that you accept all of our sins this way so that we can pray to you with a pure heart, with a pure soul, with a pure mind, that we can come together this way and we can try to lead our people here with the decisions that we make here today at the Law and Order Committee. We pray to you here at this time that you remember all of those people who are battling illnesses, those that are battling illnesses that we are aware of, that we see each and every day, and then those who are battling illnesses internally, those ones that we don't see, the struggles that people endure each and every day, the way that they worry, the way that they stress themselves out. We pray that you take care of all of that here at this time, and that you watch over them, that you keep them safe, that you help them so that you can replace that illness with good, positive feelings, so that they can wake up this morning, so that they can feel good and that they know that they're blessed in all the good ways that you've given them. God, at this time we pray to you here. We also pray to you here, God, that you take care of each and every one of us as we travel in and around the Navajo Nation. Even with this pandemic going on, our work never stops. The way that we have to get up each and every day and we have to make our way either to Window Rock or to the various communities that we represent. And we try to help our people, even those people who are outside of our communities, we try to help them as much as we can, our Navajo people. So we pray to you here at this time that you watch over us each and every day, that you protect us, that you protect our families, that you watch over them too, and that you keep them safe. The way that they stand beside us, the way that they support us, the way that they encourage us, the way that they're there for us each and every day. God, we pray you here at this time that you take care of them like that you help us to get through each and every day, that you help us to make the right decisions, that you help us to be able to come together to work hard on behalf of our Navajo people this way. Those things that they don't see, and then the things that they do see, we pray to you here at this time that you replace their ill feelings, that you replace the way that they think about us, the bad thoughts that they might have, that you replace it with good, positive thoughts at this time. So we pray to you here at the time, God, and we'll leave all of our worries, all of our needs, all of our wants in your hands at this time, God. You can handle them. So we pray to you this. Amen. Would you not explain? Would you not explain? Would you not explain? Would you not explain? Okay, with that, committee members, we're going to go ahead and move down to item number 2, recognize guests and visiting officials. We do have Ms. Yvonne Curley, who is with us this morning. We also have Honorable Vince James, Honorable Otto Stowe, and myself. Do we have any other delegates on the line? Okay, do we have anybody else listening in on the line?
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Karen
This
Lee
is
with
Hope.
Office of the Controller.
Hope, and I'm sorry, who from the Office of the Controller?
This is Karen Lee.
Oh, Karen, good morning.
Good morning.
You also have a couple other team members from the Clear Abundance team.
Oh, welcome to the team members from the Clear Abundance.
Thank you.
Okay,
Grateful
so
to
if there's no other I'm sorry?
We're grateful to be here.
Okay, great, thank you. We're going to move down to item number 3, review and adopt the agenda. Can I get a motion?
Motion, Vice Chair.
Honorable Otto Stowe, motion. Can I get a second?
Second, Delegate James.
Honorable James, thank you for the second. Committee members, if there's no other questions or comments about the agenda or any amendments that need to be, I'm sorry, Honorable Otto Stowe, go ahead.
Yes, I would like to move the legislations up front. I believe we only have one on the agenda. Let's take care of the legislation, then we can go into report, and it can even go all day if you guys want to report. So let's take care of the business that we need to take care of, and then we can go into reports. Thank you. That's my request to change. Thank you.
Okay. That's fine, Honorable Otto. So Amendment 1 is to move legislation to item number 5 on the agenda and take care of legislation number 0188-20 before we proceed to the report. Are there any questions or comments at this time regarding Amendment 1? Okay, with that, I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. And just for clarification, Lorraine, it's just moving the legislation to item number 5 on the report and everything else moving down. So receiving reports would be 6, old business would be 7, and so forth. So with that, committee members, I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. Honorable Vince James, how do you vote?
Green.
Okay. Honorable Otto Stowe, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Okay. Honorable Eugene Stowe, how do you vote?
I've been voting green since you guys started at 8:30.
Good morning. Is that Honorable Eugene Stowe? Technically, we started at 10:11, but you vote green. Thank you. Honorable Edmund Yazzie? Okay. Honorable Edmund Yazzie? Okay, with that, committee members, we do have a vote in favor of Amendment 1, 3 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 not voting. One of them is the chair. 1 is absent, Honorable Edmund Yazzie. So Amendment 1 does pass. So now we move to adopting the agenda. We do have a motion on the floor made by Honorable Otto So, a second by Honorable Vince James. If there's no other amendments, colleagues, I'm going to go ahead and proceed forward to the vote. Honorable Vince James, how do you vote?
Delegate James votes green.
Honorable James votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote? Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
Green.
Honorable Eugene So votes green. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Otto So votes green. Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Okay, with that, committee members, we do have 3 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 not voting. 1 is the chair and 1 is absent. Honorable Edmund Yazzie. The agenda with the 1 amendment does pass. I'm sorry, Lorraine, I forgot to ask you to read the agenda into the record. So if you could read the agenda before the amendment and then read it with the amendment.
Okay, Madam Chair and members of the Law and Order Committee. Agenda of the Law and Order Committee, 24th Nomination Council, regular meeting, teleconference, September 14th, 2020, 10 a.m. Presiding, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, Chairwoman. Honorable Otto So, Vice Chairperson. 1, call meeting to order, roll call and invocation. Number 2, recognize guests and visiting officials. Number 3, review and adopt agenda. Number 4, review and adopt the journals. There's none. 5, receiving reports. A, report from Yvonne Curley and Associates from Clear Abundance. 6, old business none. 7, new business. Legislation number 0188-20. 8, close the meeting, announcement and adjournment. Going back to Amendment 1, which was done by Otto So, that will be moving legislation number 0188-20 up to the front of the receiving report. So the legislation will be heard first, and then following that will be the receiving reports. Madam Chair.
Thank you for that reading, Lorraine. And committee members, I do apologize for not getting that done before I call for a motion on the adoption of the agenda. So with that, we'll move to item number 4, review and adopt the journals. There is none. We are moving to item number 5, and that's legislation number it's new business, legislation number 0188-20. Do we have the sponsor, Honorable Otto So, present?
I'm on the line.
All right, thank you, Honorable Otto So. Lorraine, can you go ahead and read legislation number 0188-20 into the record?
Okay, tracking number 0188-20, an act relating to law and order, budget finance, Navajo exit committees, and nomination council, amending Navajo Nation Code 12 NNC Section 820N, appropriations lapse. This will move forward to budget finance. Following that will be Navajo and nomination council, and has gone through the 5-day comment process, and there are no comments received. Madam Chair.
Okay, with that, committee members, can I get a motion to hear legislation number 0188-20?
Eugene So.
Honorable Eugene So, can I get a second? Can I get a second?
Chair, I'll second my motion. Or
Okay,
the
Honorable
motion.
Otto So seconds his legislation. So with that, committee members, a copy of this legislation was sent to us earlier this morning by Lorraine. If we could, there's 2 things that we could do. One is if we have a question, we will go ahead and let Honorable Otto So proceed to presenting his legislation. Or 2, if we don't have any questions, I can go ahead and proceed to the vote. Before I turn the floor over to Honorable Otto So, committee members, are there any questions for Honorable Otto So and his legislation?
No.
I'm sorry, did somebody say something?
No question.
Honorable Vince James, do you have any questions?
No questions.
All right, so with that, committee members, we're just going to go ahead and proceed forward to the vote since there are no questions regarding this legislation, number 0188-20. Honorable Otto So, are you good with that?
I'm good with it. Thank you.
Okay, so with that, committee members, we'll go ahead and proceed forward to the vote. Honorable Vince James, how do you vote?
Delegate James, votes green.
Honorable James votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
Green?
Honorable Eugene So votes green. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Otto So votes green. Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Okay, with that, committee members, we do have 3 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 who are not voting. 1 is the chair, and 1 is Honorable Edmund Yazzie, who is absent. Legislation number 0188-20 does pass Law and Order Committee and proceeds forward to Budget and Finance. Good luck with that, Honorable Otto So. Okay, with that, committee members, we are moving down to item number 6 on the agenda, receiving reports. We did receive a request from from our colleague, Honorable Wilson Stewart, who did ask that we listen to the report provided to us by Clear Abundance. We have Ms. Yvonne Curley and her associates who are on the line, who are ready to provide us a report. So with that, committee members, can I get a motion to hear the report?
Motion. Delegate James, motion.
Honorable Vince James motions. Can I get a second?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Honorable Otto So. So with that, Ms. Curley, I don't know if you presented before the 24th Navajo Nation Council committee. We are the Law and Order Committee, and there are rules that are in place. You will have 15 minutes to provide your information. You can have 2 agents with you who can help assist with presenting and also answering questions. The way that it works is you will be given the 15 minutes at the beginning. Lorraine, upon 15 minutes, Lorraine will inform you that your time is up. At that time, if you need additional time, you can request an additional 5 minutes to finish up your presentation. And then when you are done with your presentation, the committee members, it'll be open for questions from the committee members. And I guess you only speak when you get recognized. Otherwise, there's people who will talk over each other. So with that, before I turn the floor over to you, do you have any questions about the procedure?
No, I do not. We did have the opportunity to speak with the Resources and Development Committee, so thank you so much.
Thank you. So with that, committee members, I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor over to Ms. Yvonne Curley. Ms. Curley, the floor is yours. Thank you.
The Law and Order Committee, we appreciate this opportunity. And Yvonne Curley, Ninshia, Ishmin Shlong, Sina Jenny, Bashishchin, Katne Zahni, Eta Shitshay, Tapahe, Eta Shanal, Fort Defiance, that Nasha. I appreciate the opportunity, and we have also online a Tuition Dudnish. His name is Craig Snyder with Vitcor and Michael Proper. They will also discuss the towers portion and also the phones. And if you have any questions, please feel free to let us know. Appreciate your time and opportunity. My name is Yvonne Curley, and I am the owner of Clear Abundance. Our mission is to help connect sovereign and sustainable future for undeserved communities. And we've worked with numerous tribes and companies throughout the world. Through the combination of towers, cell phones, and services, Clear Abundance, we feel, has a solution to not only provide safe telecommunications, but also for the physical and mental well-being for tribal members. And we feel that we can create by doing this, the tribe will be able to have ownership and leasing of towers and tribal land to third-party carriers. And so we feel that this is a really crucial time to have the state-of-the-art technology, and we feel that a strong communication infrastructure will enable to reach the healthcare, education, commerce, emergency response, and in law enforcement, all of which is so critical, as you guys all have noticed through the COVID-19 pandemic and in upcoming future events. So we appreciate the opportunity to help and assist the Navajo Nation and be able to set some private and secure telephone information that Mike will be able to let you guys all know. And just really quick, I sent out our presentation PowerPoint and also our summary. Did everybody of the committee get that?
Yes, we did get that. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. And we appreciate the opportunity. Mike, if you're on the line, could you go ahead and proceed with the phones, please?
Yes, yeah.
And I'm on the line too, Michael.
Exactly. I wanted to confirm that everybody's got the presentation up in front of them. And if so, we'll go ahead and start on slide 3 to do a quick kind of overview of Clear Abundance, and then move to slide 6, which is where Craig will actually give an overview. And then myself will start on slide 12. Can we get confirmation that the presentation is being viewed?
Go ahead.
Okay. Yvonne, did you have anything else you wanted to report on slides 2 through 5, or should we move to slide 6 on the towers?
I think if they have any questions, they can just review them, but I think I'm good. Thank you.
So to just give a little bit of context, this body has been, this isn't just something where it's a happenstance and because of the recent happenings with COVID, this is something that's a priority. Well over a year ago, both Yvonne and myself and a couple others traveled to actually provide a presentation of 70 pages in Window Rock as to it relates around communication as the infrastructure that needs to be provided so that basically key services around communication and health can actually be delivered. Since, prior to that year, for many years, we worked on building out phone infrastructure, not just at the phone layer or the cellular phone layer, but as it relates to the infrastructure behind it from a storage and information standpoint. So the phones basically connect into a decentralized storage system where there's storage all around the world instead of having information that is in one location, such as with iPhones or with Google Android-based phones. Prior to that, the storage side of it was for 10 years. Prior to that, we have history starting in 2000, so 20 years ago, around building out remote support infrastructure. So it's perfect for the Navajo Nation. And prior to that, our colleague Craig, who's on the line for 30 plus years, has been in the tower building business and has even contracted through NTUA to build towers on the nation. We come to you with a complete package that combines towers, phones and services that basically enable the Navajo Nation to own their own infrastructure. At this time, I'd like to turn the time over to Craig and have him present on slide 6 through 12. Craig?
Thank you, Honorable Committee. It's wonderful to be with you today, and we thank you for giving us some of your time. My name is Craig Snyder. I am the chairman of Vicor Teleconstruction. We build telecommunications towers, which you normally would know as cell phone towers, around the country. And as Michael mentioned, we have built towers on the Navajo Nation to give better coverage, but normally through third parties such as Verizon, AT&T, Cellular One, and others. Our proposal today is to provide 44 towers strategically located on the Navajo Nation, and I'm on slide number 7 if you have the slide deck in front of you, to help bridge the digital divide. I'm sure you know, as you move around in different places, that the coverage is spotty, and at times it's not there at all. What we are proposing is to furnish these towers that would be owned by the Navajo Nation. And if you look to slide number 8, the towers are a gateway to wireless infrastructure connectivity. Without towers, all the cellular services and all the law enforcement services and all other types of services are not possible. Towers are a wonderful investment. They can last 50 to 100 years, and they can be used for all types of technology, not just a single technology like cellular, but also law enforcement, wireless internet service providers, and the like. The Federal Communications Commission has recently offered free radio frequency spectrum to all the Native American nations around the country. And you may be aware that the Navajo Nation has applied for 2.5 gigahertz spectrum, which is in the cellular range, that it will have the access to. Normally spectrum sells for hundreds of millions of dollars, but the FCC is giving that to the Navajo Nation, and that'll be great. You have some towers now that you can use that spectrum on, but these towers will help you bridge the gap with your own network, as opposed to relying strictly upon Verizon, AT&T, and whatnot. These towers will help with education empowerment, maintaining your community in many ways, preserving cultural connection. If you look at slide number 9, these are the proposed locations of the 44 towers on the Navajo Nation. You see them in red stars. These are subject to change and can be moved to more strategic locations, but it's not a great map, but you can get at least an idea of where they will be. We're proposing 190-foot self-supporting towers. This keeps them below the requirement for an FAA light on the top, which aesthetically makes things a little bit more pleasing. The towers would be bare, meaning there would be no antenna systems. They would be provided separately by service providers. We can teach you how to lease these towers to the other service providers, as well as placing your own antenna systems on them. We are also proposing that these towers in slide 10 will be constructed in a 30-week window. So as soon as the Navajo Nation would approve this proposal, we would start with pre-construction, then civil work, which is the groundwork and underground and foundations, then the tower work, and then the installing the compounds. So in summary, on slide number 11, Vicor Teleconstruction in conjunction with Clear Abundance, which would be the company that we would be working for, proposes to install 44 new towers placed in strategic locations to maximize connectivity in areas where we don't have that on the Navajo Nation now. Building towers is investing in an infrastructure with reoccurring revenue. And right now, the nation has partnered with Vertical Bridge to capture some of that revenue that they have not been able to capture in the past with the towers that the nation owns. These would give that full ability to capture income on a recurring basis from other users, empowering generations by supporting healthcare, education, public safety, which this committee deals with, independence, and much more. And then I will turn the time back over to Michael to talk about the cell phones.
Great. Thank you for your presentation and for your willingness to engage in such important work. We're grateful for the opportunity to work with your team with the vast history that you have at so many levels. Honorable Committee, on slide 13, you'll see what we're recommending as far as unique phones. These Clear phones, there's 3 different series, 220, 420, and 620, are unique and have the abilities to be able to not just tie to centralized systems, which will enable the nation to keep its independence and sovereignty, because the data and the communications and the identity on them cannot be taken if the users select. This presentation basically includes 50,000 of these phones in different quantities for all households of the Navajo Nation. This is the umbilical cord to be able to deliver key services such as telehealth. What's so unique and important about these phones is how the phones actually work from an individual standpoint out to different technologies or services instead of the opposite way. When you purchase a phone today, you're either purchasing an Android-based phone, which ties to Google, or an Apple-based phone, which ties to infrastructure or Apple infrastructure. When you get an Apple phone, you actually don't own the hardware and you don't own the data on it because you're logging into third-party systems. With Clear phones, you literally get the data, it is yours, and I'll show you, for those that are following along with the presentation, we'll actually show you how this actually works. But these phones are very unique, and they're actually built for indigenous communities, and we directly sell them only to indigenous communities. So this is a very specific type phone that works across all bands and frequencies in the spectrums that you're currently in and would build upon. The current frequencies that they work on is Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, Cellular One, as well as Sprint on the 220. So if we move to slide 14, you can see different specifications. The displays, the cameras, the storage, as well as the batteries are top-notch. These phones are just barely hitting the market, so they're literally you're not getting them in a life cycle that is an old life cycle. These phones are very stable, solid, mature, and the operating system which we support is unique to these Clear phones, and you won't find it in any other systems in the world. It basically leverages the decades of maturity around the Google Android operating system that tears out all of the connections that tie naturally back to Google and allows the user to actually own their own life and their own data. Again, there's lots of different cellular providers that these phones will all work with. They have 2 SIM cards built into them, so you can bounce from different types of technologies and networks with one phone, so the user's experience is very clean and simple, and there's no need to carry 2 phones moving forward. The Clear phones will literally traverse the different towers as well as cellular providers automatically on their own. I'll name some of those right now. I already touched on some of them, such as AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, but they literally will work not just in the United States, but also outside the United States, such as with Vodafone, Spark, Telecom, Bell, Rogers, etc. It doesn't just span the United States of
Madam
America.
Chair, 15 minutes is up.
Thank you for that, Lorraine. I see that you guys still have some slides on your presentation, unless I'm lost here. How would you guys like to proceed?
Could we request? Go ahead, Yvonne.
Can we request for an additional 5 minutes, please?
Okay, committee members, if there's no objections, I'm going to go ahead and allow for the additional 5 minutes so that the presentation can be completed.
Thank you.
Eva.
Okay, are there any objections? So you can go ahead and proceed.
We're grateful to be able to have that 5 minutes. We'll be succinct and detailed with a response. So on slide 15, you can see the comparison between the phones. I won't go through the detailed specs, but you can dig into those if you'd like to. Know that the 620 is a large phone. It's over 7 inches. And then they go smaller from there. So from 7 inches to 6.3 to 6 inches. I'll go ahead and move down to slide 18, just for time. What you'll see is basically the interface that a user would see when they get a Clear phone. It gives them 12 words, and those 12 words become the encryption key. This could be something that the Navajo Nation themselves could actually own, or they could give this to the individual. The individual can also be able to support their family. Maybe there's youth that they want to have cellular phones, but they're concerned around what kind of data or access or profiling or controls or passwords or any of those types of things would allow a parent to be able to help manage their child, not just on what apps they have or where they go online, but how they navigate. And it literally is a turnkey solution that puts that power and information through these 12 words that is an encryption key in the power of a father or a mother or even a community or even the Navajo Nation itself if it so chose. If we move down to slide 19, this basically talks about Clear ID, which is an identification process that uses the phone and your face and your finger to authenticate you into systems instead of using username and passwords that are usually used over and over and over and can become compromised. This uses 4-factor authentication and it uses the individual as the key, and it actually can change all of the passwords to your current login, and it just imports your existing login. On slide 20, it talks about Clear Scan Vitals, which basically takes your heart rate, your stress pressure, your oxygen saturation levels, your respiration levels. Blood pressure is coming as well as temperature is coming. It also tracks your heart rate variability, medium, highs, lows. On slide 21, you can see how the technology works. It works from the camera and the phone itself to be able to do real-time vitals. What's unique about this is the data and the vitals are all the individuals. This doesn't stream off to another third-party service. It's your data, which helps you to be able to deliver vitals remotely or locally to the user, and then ties to other things such as, the phones come with a service called ClearMed, which basically is remote telehealth. So from the connection that you would have with the cell phones, you can connectly remote into physician, dermatologist, and therapist remotely, all with the same quantified monthly fee. It doesn't nickel and dime the user, and the services are all included in the budget that we're talking about and we'll propose in a second. Things such as cold or flu or pink eye or skin irritations or urinary tract infections or diarrhea or fevers or headaches or sore throats can easily be diagnosed remotely from a physician. Currently, we have over 5,000 physicians in all 50 states in English and Spanish languages that can be accessible 24 hours a day. Most of the dermatologists are only normal business hours, 8 to 5, but basically ClearMed is built in, as well as Clear Support on the slide 23. And then the Gateway Management Services, which basically takes the whole of the internet, blocks all ports, URLs, IPs, everything, and allows only the good based upon where the users go. That is a very key service, and in my opinion, this service should be mandatory for anything coming on to any of the nations, period, as it helps protect the children as well as the communities from things that will be dangerous and dark that can be brought into the nation. What we're proposing is basically on pricing on page 27. We're proposing 44 towers fully deployed in key areas, working with what you come up with on the Vital Bridge assessment to be able to ensure that complete cellular rollout of communications and umbilical cords to the Navajo Nation can be derived for $21 million. So that's 44 towers for $21 million, and then 50,000 phones for $20 million. So you own the towers, you own the phones for $41 million total, and a year's worth of services, voice, data, and text, riding on the T-Mobile network as we partner with
Madam Chair.
Thank you for that, Lorraine. So we do appreciate the presentation today and also sending us the information. Committee members, do you have any questions at this time?
Sure, Madam.
Honorable Eugene So, go ahead.
Area SKD, it's KD. I use KD though, just like the other special form because the machine. But what DD towers, many originally the NTA those 31 or you passage Bakada around Chinle area. Yes, so yeah, that's my question, if that's what they're talking about.
Thank you, Honorable Eugene So. Ms. Curley, I'm going to turn the floor back over to you to answer the question.
Thank you, Honorable Eugene So. So you were indicating that there are some towers going in around Chinle, and you were asking if this is what we're proposing. Is that correct?
Oh, what's actually the same in the same line?
The Theta A, it's something completely new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Committee members,
Madam Chair?
Are there any other questions? Yes. Yes, Lorraine, go ahead.
This is Lorraine. I sent Mr. So a copy of the presentation.
Okay. Thank you for that, Lorraine. Committee members, are there any other questions for the presenters at this time? Ms. Curley, I have a question. It states on your presentation that you were working with NTUA and you guys built 7 towers on the Navajo Nation. Can I ask you where those 7 towers are at and who owns those towers? Thank you. I'm going back on mute.
Okay. Craig, could you address that, please? Thank you.
I'm afraid I don't have the information of exactly where those were placed. They were built over a period of time, over several years. We were paid by NTUA, so I suspect that the towers are either owned by NTUA or the Navajo Nation. Although I do understand that Cellular One is an affiliate of NTUA, and so it's possible that they were Cellular One towers, but we were contracted through NTUA.
Madam Chair?
Honorable Otto So, go ahead.
Well, it's hard to believe now, personally, to say that you work with NTUA, you built towers for them, and now you don't know where those towers are at. maybe they mysteriously disappeared or something. But you're presenting to Navajo Nation policymakers, and these type of information is, I guess, these are just basic information that Madam Chair asked, where are these towers located? Because, it comes to a point where do we believe it or not? So that's just my thinking of this presentation. And again, if you don't know where your towers are at, or the towers that you guys were contracted out to build, you don't know where they're at. I possibly don't believe it. Contractors that work on the Navajo Nation on services usually say, "Oh yeah, we built the system in Sweetwater, Arizona. We built this hospital facility in Red Mesa." They have something to allude to say this is our product. So right now I don't see a product. So I'm not sold on it. Thank you very much.
This is Michael Popper. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So the way that it works is you have to be recognized. Otherwise, we start talking over each other. So I apologize. Before I turn the floor back over to the presenters, committee members, are there any other questions?
Madam Chair.
Honorable Eugene So, go ahead.
It seems like Peter the Power, the CA, I was reading this slide. I sign up for them. There's a couple guys, and there's some at the Chapter House and some areas on top of that. Mesa, when you're going down Penley, there are some areas there we sign up on for clearance. Very into the other one that retired on the other area yesterday. So that was my question. But almost, I don't know what happened to those. Cars are already sitting. Those new ones, I don't know. Ready now, this could hide. She don't, is that those cars? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Eugene So, for those comments. With that, committee members, I'm going to turn the floor back over to the presenters. Ms. Curley.
Craig or Mike, can you address the towers for the NQA, please?
I can address the overall presentation, and then I'd like to turn the time over to Craig. This presentation is a holistic solution which has not been realized by the nation, and that's why the current cellular infrastructure and communication in general is not solid and it's not stable. This is a holistic proposal to be able to ensure that all the way from an individual's experience to try and get remote telehealth, to be able to get their health vitals, to be able to get the cellular phones and the support and the service all the way through to the towers is what this proposal is about. I agree with your perspective that we should know where towers are if they've been built prior. I do know that Craig and his team are the most advanced tower builders in the country, and that they have built thousands of towers across the nation and many other parts of the world for the last 30 years. They know what they're doing. They're very competent. That's why they're the team that actually ends up, whether it's through NTUA or through Verizon or AT&T, the ones that actually end up doing the work. What this is a turnkey solution to give you a single point of accountability to ensure that communications finally works. If you want that on the nation, we are here to serve you. We're grateful for the opportunity to be involved in this well before COVID and understand the importance of this. What we would ask and plead with you to give us the opportunity to not just look past because we didn't answer where 7 certain towers are. I'm confident that that information could be provided, and would hope that you would not just look past this because you didn't have this at the top of the hat. So, do you have any thoughts or feedback?
Yes, my apologies for not having the 7 tower locations in front of me in preparation for this. I've been looking on my computer quickly to try to find them, and it's going to take me a little bit of digging. I did see all 7 locations at one point and probably should have just put them in the presentation. My apologies for that, and I will be happy to get that information to the committee and have it delivered through Yvonne for your review. But I agree with Michael that it's a holistic approach, and we've built literally thousands of towers in the last 30 years, and I just should have had that information with me. My apologies.
Okay, with that, committee members, are there any other questions at this time? There are no other questions, committee members?
Madam
Yes,
Chair?
Honorable Baruto.
So, as you build these towers, well, I'm not going to say on Navajo, but we haven't get the information where on Navajo you built. I'll just say you built towers. And what I'm getting to is that the issue to public safety and communication related to the need of public safety, and how do you guys or do they work with the public safety, whether it's a frequency or a band that they have in place so that in case of an emergency, a band is reserved for them, or a communication is a communication line is open up for them for that purpose. Because the public safety issue is something that we really have to look at, especially on the dark zone on the Navajo Nation. And our dark zone on the Navajo Nation are here and there. And there's dark zones, greater dark zones in Eastern Navajo. And, for many years, we've been trying to get into UA, even Cellular One, to try to invest and put additional towers up in those dark zones to help with whether it's communication or education or public safety or everyday activity of individuals. So how do you guys plan to work with our law enforcement so that to ensure that those bandwidths are open? There's other dark zones in Western Agency. You drive into the community between Coal Mine and Loop. There's some group of Navajos that live out there, and they're like in a dip that you have to crawl up on you have to crawl up on a house and stand in one place to make a phone call out, or drive up to the nearest largest hill there, and those are the concerns there. There's many areas that I speak to of that scenario that exists on Navajo, and with that, where if the Navajo policymakers say, hey, let's go work with this group here, where do you think that these potential towers would be already? I'm assuming you're already doing some sort of planning because you're entertaining this to the Navajo Nation. You know, hey, let's try to work in this area. Let's try to work in that area. And but what I normally see is towers popping up side by side. And for instance, I'm going to go back to my community. You know, there's NTUA Tower there, and then there's a tower. There's a Verizon tower that sits within on private land there, and then there's a tower that's on top of Preston Mesa. So they intend to congregate and follow each other around like sheep, and say, "Oh, we built a tower over there," you know, or ComNet. ComNet has a tower up there also. So, but what I'm getting to is what's so different and unique about the company that wants to do business with the Navajo Nation on Navajo soil? Because if you're just gonna congregate and follow those other cell towers like sheep, you know, it's just another cell tower that can go up into the city. You know, if you decide to build there. But there's dark zones out there that really need attention, and you know that's what I'm listening out for, because I'm really skeptical with the COA's build up now related to the towers and even Cellular One, and right now I am looking at maybe possibly dropping legislation to bring in other cellular phone companies to start working with the Navajo Nation, because these cellular phone companies that wanted to monopolize on Navajo, they're not doing their job. They're not providing that communication. And all they're saying, oh, it costs us money just to build it. We need money. And all they do is come to the nation with their hand out. We need some money. Only way we can build. But when you look at the nation and the vast area of the Navajo Nation, you know, 27,000 square miles that the nation that we have, you know, the airspace that we have all these cellular phone companies that are not that are not paying a cent to the Navajo Nation in taxes, but yet they invade Navajo airspace, and this is a lot of you know, that I think about. Maybe I'm planning the flower bill. I don't know, but those are just things that I see. And then you have T-Mobile piggyback riding off of ComNet to have a roaming agreement. So you know, to me, you know, they're just piggyback riding off of each other to try to get services. And you know, what's the drastic change that you guys propose to bring to the Navajo Nation? That's different than other cellular phone providers that came on, because we already have Choice One Wireless, which yeah, I agree, it's Navajo owned to a certain percentage. The other half is not owned by Navajo. I know I believe it's a 50-49 ownership, and those things really I look at. And but again, you know, what is different about this? You know, we have sacred was it Sacred Winds or something like that? Someone was or has a cellular phone deal that's going on, and or power things that are going to go on in Eastern Navajo, and we have beginning to get all these people with proposals coming to the nation. When the Navajo Nation didn't have any money, no one came to the table. And but all of a sudden, when COVID money came out, oh, hey, hi, we're just business, and that's what I've been seeing. And that's just my thought. And again, I'm the delegate from Tuba City, and just don't want to have these things entertained without a catch-21 at the end. So, thank you very much.
Can I respond to that? This is Yvonne
Can you
Curley.
hold on, please? Honorable delegates, are there any questions or comments at this time for the presenters? Okay, with that, Ms. Curley, the floor is yours to respond.
Honorable, so 1 year ago, I believe it was in August, the Navajo Nation is the one that came to our company and asked about all this information. And we gave them a proposal over a year ago. So this is a year in the making. And so the Navajo Nation, the nation date for about over a year. So just to let you know, in reference to the COVID money, it's not a year before. We've been working with the tribe. What I also do is I help Indigenous women bring their products to market. I used to work under Overstock.com, and I brought we were once the largest provider, private entity on the Navajo Nation. And so I was just down there over the weekend, and I started, and it's really frustrating. Shema e for defiance de baran. Blue Gapco for to help President Nez, and I also have a dear friend that we assisted in the donations and given out to the Navajo Nation. There's no cell phone service. So I see and I hear your frustration, and that is the reason why I needed us, Twee and my company, we came together. I said, there's no cell service on the Navajo Nation. I had to, when I was calling, I think I was between Luck Achagai and Rough Rock, going back to our hotel in Monticello. I tried 18 times to try to call out to my hotel to let them know I'm en route. And then I tried to call my mother. Oh, Doug, it's just so hard and it's so frustrating working, having a business and helping the people on the Navajo Nation. So I understand your frustration, and I'm going to return the time over to Mike to let them know why we are different. And because, so Mike?
Thank you, Yvonne. I think that the word different is what actually makes this unique, because we're not the history of NTUA or Cellular One. But Clear Abundance is wholly owned by Yvonne, who you just spoke with, and she cares about the Navajo people, not just for the current ability to get connectivity up, but for how future generations will actually leverage the technology and this umbilical cord to the digital world, which will help the youth want us to actually stay and live on the nation and literally leverage the benefit that can be derived remotely in information and knowledge and learning good things, but at the same time be able to live life as it's been eroded in many different ways. But there's 4 different areas that are really important. The first one is not only just assuming that the current NTUA or cell towers are the solution, because we believe that one of the things that makes us different is we believe it's not a solution, and the current solution is not working. And there needs to be a new way to be able to leverage what's going on with Virtual Bridge in taking an assessment of where are the towers, who is on the towers, how are you getting compensated for what currently is there, and where do new towers need to go so that everyone can have service if they want it. And if the nation so chooses. I mean, there may be a design that you don't, but that's a different conversation. But I can tell you that Yvonne has worked hard to bridge the gap in the need for communication. And the communication doesn't just stop with the ability to get dial tone with a cell phone, but it continues forward where she literally helped to rally monies from different organizations to get donations, not to come with a handout because COVID monies have been basically put in the market, or whether it's E-rate or whether it's some other type of a governmental BTOP type grant or whatever. She literally raised the money to get the services. We're not here with our hands out asking for you to pay for T-Mobile services or voice, data, or text, or asking you to pay for medical telehealth for doctors, dermatologists, or therapists. We're here donating these services, literally just saying, if you would organize and approve 44 towers and 50,000 cell phones, we can come to you with a turnkey solution that can solve a lot of the current mishap that's currently being, realized, so to speak. The services for the first 12 months are absolutely free. The continued costs of them going on are spelled out. They're not expensive. Literally, we've already got from the Navajo Nation to the Department of Interior to the different cellular providers negotiated low rates that are very affordable. For instance, a cellular service, unlimited voice, data, and text at $19 US a month. Telehealth services at less than $10 per month. These are if you want to continue them even after we've set up the infrastructure and you've had the opportunity to use them. So it's not something where we're coming down with our hands out asking for any kind of give out or money. It's more of Yvonne saw a need because of what she's done with these individuals where their lifeblood is literally to be able to sell something that they make so that they can eat the fruit of their labor. And for them to sit in a hot sun on a corner of a street that maybe gets, 50 passerbys in an afternoon versus the ability to be able to be in their home and make things and then take orders and receive payments and send them off. Those are the types of things that we're helping to be able to add value with those simple types of use cases. And Avant has done tireless work to try and organize the towers, the phones, and the services at the most competitive price. If you really understood, we just said $41 million to own 44 towers and 50,000 cell phones, and you don't have to pay for cellular service or healthcare services. The other thing that's important and directly addresses the topic that was originally brought up, these cell phones are built in to work on the different bands and frequencies that emergency services work on. So even if data and voice is not realized through normal carriers, you can still default to the emergency band. It's built into the phone, even if you're not logged in to the phone. You literally can make an emergency call. So this is important for not just communication, but for emergency management, for law enforcement, for healthcare, as well as for just a general well-being. One of the things that just broke my heart was to understand that the youth, the adolescents, are 7 times more likely to take their own lives. And a lot of that can be helped by just providing this healthcare platform where medicine men or anybody, it's not just white man's doctors come in, because I personally absolutely disagree with Western medicine and the things that it's doing to people in the body and the mind. But it'll allow the youth to be able to connect to systems and services that they can basically find joy where they are. And the reservation is a beautiful place if it's leveraged the right way with a simple, clean connection and umbilical cord to the rest of the digital world. But as far as I'm personally concerned, the leadership within the Navajo Nation needs to be able to turn that off if they so choose. And that's what we're coming and giving you the opportunity to be able to vote on. A $41 million budget that basically gives you 50,000 cell phones, disruptive, wonderful cell phones, good cameras, good screens, good power, etc., and 44 towers. If you were to buy this type of thing from NTUA, you pay more than $40 million just for the 44 towers alone. Please see this as the benefit. We're not here with our handouts. We're just asking for you to cover the cost to be able to put these things up so that you can finally have communication like the rest of the majority of the world, including locations that are very, in my opinion, you can leverage this opportunity and leapfrog over the rest of the world, and you can own it. We're not asking to control it like the NTUA folks or even a different corporation. Yvonne's heart is as pure as they come, and her intent is as impure as it comes. This is not about money. It's about the opportunity to serve the nation. And we would hope that you would vote green to allow us to be able to move forward and do that. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, committee members. This is Delegate Amber Tainersville-Crotty for the record. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. Shadeja, welcome to the Law and Order Committee meeting. We just got a presentation from Clear Abundance regarding the towers and also the plan that they submitted to the President's office. And we, I believe, are concluding with the questions. Committee members, are there any questions at this time for Clear Abundance?
I do know that Craig has the location for the towers if you'd like him to report on that.
Honorable Crotty, did you have any questions for the presenters at this time?
Oh, yeah, thank you, Sada. What I did, committee members, is I just sent their presentation to our cyber team. And so we did get a presentation last week in terms of, what the land department and others have been doing regarding broadband on Navajo Nation. So I'll just wait and defer to the cyber team so they could help me understand how this plays a part in our goal to provide broadband across Navajo Nation. Thank you.
Yeah, so with that, committee members, I believe that there are no other questions or comments at this time. We do appreciate the presentation, Ms. Curley. So with that, we do have a motion made by Honorable Vince James to hear the report, and then a second by Honorable Otto So. Committee members, since there are no comments, I will go ahead and proceed forward to the vote. Honorable Vince James, how do you vote?
Green.
Honorable Vince James votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
What's that? Oh, no, please, thank you.
Honorable So votes green. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote?
I will agree to accept the report. Thank you.
Honorable Otto So votes green to accept the report. Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Okay, with that, committee members, we have 3 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 not voting, 1 is here, and 1 is absent. Honorable Edmund Yazzie, and this vote was to accept the report from Yvonne Curley and the Clear Abundance. Thank you, Ms. Curley, for your time and for the presentation. I believe that the information is being shared with the cyber team, as my little sister, Honorable Amber Crotty, has stated. So you may come before another committee to get more information. So with that, we thank you for your time and your excuse at this time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, committee members, we are now down to item number 7, old business. There's none. Item number 8, we are at close of the meeting. Before we close, are there any announcements that have to be made? Committee, just a reminder, our next Law and Order Committee meeting is scheduled for September 21st, 2020. We did subpoena Harlan Cleveland. I believe that we can call him at that time on September 21st, 2020, to provide this committee information on the donations and also the plan for distributing these donations. We'll be calling him on September 21st, 2020. I don't know if we have any other legislations that will be presented at that time, but also keep in mind that this Thursday we have Nabik Iyatket that starts at 10 o'clock. So just as a reminder, committee members. With that, we'll go ahead and move for adjournment. Can I get a motion? All right, Honorable Eugene So motions to adjourn. Can I get a second?
Vice Chair, second.
Delegate James. Okay.
Okay, Honorable
Delegate James. Delegate James seconded.
Vince James, second that. So if there's no other comments, questions, any other announcements that need to be made, I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. Honorable Vince James, how do you vote?
Green.
Honorable James votes green. Honorable Eugene Stowe, how do you vote?
Green.
Honorable Eugene Stowe votes green. Honorable Otto Stowe, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Otto Stowe votes green. Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Okay, with that, committee members, we do have 3 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 here, 1 is absent. Honorable Edmund Yazzie. We are hereby adjourned at 11:25. Be safe out there, and see you guys later.
Otto.